Hey again, Stephen Scott, Rugby Show. All the best on behalf of the All Blacks.
Just a shout out to the Stephen Scott Rugby Show. Awesome. Cheers, brother.
G'day guys, just a shout out to the Stephen Scott Rugby Show. Awesome.
Cheers. Hi, my name's Phil from Sydney. I'm the captain of the Black Ferns.
Stephen Scott Rugby Show. How's it going, mate?
Just a wee shout out to the Stephen Scott Rugby Show. You guys are awesome. Cheers.
Hey guys, Artie here. Shout out to Stephen Scott Rugby Show.
Hi, I'm Andrew Mertens, just working on building my CV and possibly get a gig on the Stephen Scott Rugby Show.
Kia ora everybody, I'm Steve Scott. How you going tonight? We're talking about the All Blacks game and the team. So we're quickly going to go through the team right now, and then we're going to have a bit of a chat about some of the positions and what we think where Steve Hansen may have missed out and where he's got it all right. So I'll start off with the forward, Scotty. Yep. So we've got Joe Moody, Cody Taylor, Owen Franks. Nothing to say about that.
Yep.
So it's going in with exactly the same front row as last time. The great Brodie Retallick and Samuel Whitelock are our locking partners again.
100 games for Sam last week.
We got Liam Squire, Sam Kane and Kieran Reid. I kind of wanted to see Frizzell come in and have a bit of a crack on this game, but I can see what they're doing. They're just trying to lock away that Blizz. So what do you reckon, Scotty?
Yeah, one more game in Eden Park, and the boys can finish it, I reckon. Our backs, Aaron Smith, Bowden Barrett, Waisaki Naholo on the wing, played an awesome game. Nani Lomapi, Jack Goodhue, he was awesome. Ben Smith, he'd gone to the wing, and Geordie Barrett coming at fullback there. Yeah, pretty awesome team.
You can't really. Oh man, I don't have anything to say about that team. You know, my only, if I was going to be a little bit critical, Geordie at 15, he hasn't played a lot of 15 for the Canes, and I'm a Canes man. They've been swapping him around all over the place, but oh man, you can't really.
No, you can't follow who's in form at the moment in New Zealand rugby. That's the team that would go. My only other one that I was hoping would be in there, but he's still injured. Sunnyville Williams. Yeah, when he comes back, I want to see his name and number 12.
Yeah, absolutely. SBW will definitely go back into 12 when he's right.
Yep.
And he'll actually be awesome with Jack Goodhue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. On the bench, again, formidable Nathan Harris, Carl Tuinukuafi.
Big Carl.
Ufa, it's back in the team again.
Yes, coming for Tim Perry.
Yeah, poor Tim.
Scotty Barrett had an awesome game last week. Artie Savia, good to see him back on the field. TJ, Damien McKenzie, and Anton Leonard Brown. All players had an awesome game when they came on the field on Saturday night.
So really, Scotty, it's good. That team will do the job. I'll be very surprised if the Aussies get 10 points within this team.
Yeah, Aussies. Honestly, Aussies haven't got anything. They didn't show us anything on Saturday night. They're not going to show us anything this Saturday night. They haven't done anything different. It's going to be a bit of a whitewash for the old Aussies on Saturday night again.
So what we wanted to do tonight is talk about Australian rugby because it's a big concern, Scotty.
Yeah.
What's happening over here on this side of the ditch? We live here in Brizzy, and it's a real concern. Numbers are down. We went to the game on Saturday night, 66,000 people.
Yes, in an 80,000 seat stadium.
80,000 seat stadium, a lot of gaps here. I don't know, Scotty. They've got some issues here.
Here in Australia, I think the grassroots rugby, there's not much of a grassroots rugby happening here in Australia. Schoolboy rugby, there's bits and pieces around the place. A private school rugby, it's a big thing here in Australia. It always has been. I don't know what the solution is for the actual Wallabies. We also see a lot of the younger boys are choosing to go overseas, take the money and run while they're still at a young age. That could be a bit scary for the Australian Rugby Union also. Yeah.
I'll tell you a couple of positives that I see in Aussie rugby is that shoot shield that they have in Sydney. They're getting record crowds to each of those games. And also the Brisbane competition up there is very, very healthy too. And that level is where Australia needs to get back to be a strong Wallabies country.
Yes.
You know, like they were back in the early 80s, late 90s, when they actually started dominating the All Blacks from around about 2000 to about 2004.
Yes.
Where they really dominated the All Blacks. They had a really good You know, a lot of their players were coming out of their club rugby system.
Yep.
And I think they've just lost it a little bit. And I think they were about, you know, in Australia, rugby's probably about number 5.
And that's another thing too, Steve, here in Australia. We've got AFL, we've got rugby league, we've got soccer, we've got rugby union, we've got basketball. There's a lot of sports to be competing with in Australia. Rugby union, maybe 4 or 5 on that priority list of sports here in Australia.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sad.
Which is pretty sad when you consider rugby union, out of all of those sports, AFL, NRL, even the soccer, rugby union probably has the most appeal internationally. Maybe not the soccer. Soccer's more international.
World, yep.
But definitely AFL, which is the number 1 winter sport in this country. NRL is the number 2 winter sport in this country. And then you've got things like the soccer, and then you've got the rugby. So I think they've lost it somewhere. Super Rugby has done more damage to Australian rugby than good.
Yep.
That's the problem here.
Yeah.
And we need to get back to a competition, even if we can. And you know, if you're listening to this in New Zealand or you're a Kiwi, maybe we need to open up our Mitre 10 Cup to Australian teams to come in.
Yeah, wow, big call. That's a big call.
That is a big call.
That's a big call. To keep Australian Rugby Union alive here in Australia, there's small pockets all around the place. There's pockets in Melbourne, there's pockets in Perth, Sydney, here in Brisbane. That rugby union's pretty strong, but as a whole nation, no, it's not like as strong as New Zealand. New Zealand again different. In New Zealand, we all, as young kids, we all want to be an All Black, and we all want to run around the field and be that Jonah Lumu or that John Kerwin or that Michael Jones. Here in Australia, there's been some great legends, but not everyone wants to run around being a John Eales or being a David Campese. So,
which is amazing because Australian fans, Wallaby fans, are really passionate about the Wallabies.
Yes.
Like I saw so many of them walking out, just head down, just gutted. On Saturday night, which shows me that they will follow this team around, you know. But that's the problem. Australia, this Wallaby team has lost 3 out of its 4 opening games this year. They lost. 3
out of the 4.
3 out of the 4. They lost against Ireland twice and against the All Blacks.
Yes.
And that's not a good start for Checker.
No.
So, look, and Michael Checker, I'm sure he's a good bloke, and you know he wants to be successful like anybody, but it's rough on them because their benchmark is the All Blacks. It's always been the All Blacks for the Wallabies, and it's kind of rough on them because they're just not having enough wins at the moment, and
One thing I like, me personally, I like about Australian sports. Australians, when they're up, they're up. And everybody gets behind them. When they're down, and everybody puts the boot into them. The winning attitude with all Australian sports teams is go to the end, play the full 80 minutes, play the full 60 minutes. And that's one thing I like about the passion about here in Australia, that the athletes go to that right to the end, never say die attitude. It's that never say die attitude. Oh yeah, what do we do, Steve? What do we do? How does it?
Can I just say this about Australian rugby too, Scotty? Who got to the finals of the 2015 World Cup?
That's right,
Australia.
Yeah.
You think about that. That is amazing. Australia are a good team. They're not yet a great team, but you never write them off.
And they'll be there next year, the World Cup 2015. The flipping Wallabies are going to be there. They're going to be around in that top 4 somewhere. So we can't write them off, even though they had a really bad start to 2018 that we're in now. Don't write them off. They're still going to be there. As much as we want the All Blacks to dominate everything, we're not going to always be the one who's going to dominate. So
We're not, but we have for the last 15 years, and that's rough, isn't it?
It's a long
Scotty?
time.
It's a long time.
It's
too long, and the Aussies are getting sick and tired of it. So they need to win. They need to win, Scotty.
They do.
They need to start this Saturday.
Ooh, it's going to be a big ask, isn't it?
It wouldn't that big, bro.
What, 36 years, I think, that and the All Blacks haven't lost on Eden Park. Oh, big call, big ask.
It's a big call.
We're going Steve and Scott Rugby Show. Check, good to hear, mate. Looking forward to the next episode.